Benvenuto al mio canale YouTube Making Up the Magic, sì, ciao belli, è veramente il mio canale e mi chiamo Eva, è veramente il mio nome, sì. And on this channel, don't tell me, Versace, that I'm wearing too much makeup, okay? On this channel, no, you wear all the makeup you want to wear, niente. Basta così, sì. So, I hope I didn't scare you too much with that Italian overture or opening introduction. Today, in honor of my special guest, Monica Vitti, I wanted to practice my Italian because I'm kind of trying to learn my Italian. In honor of my guest, Monica Vitti, sì, la bella Monica. Not Bellucci, huh? It's Vitti. Today we are going back to the 60s. I know, I'm stuck in the 60s. Go figure. Today I'm going to show you how to do one of those classic makeup looks of the 60s that was more worn by the movie stars, so it wasn't fashion related at all. Those were other people. You know, movies, fashion, they try not to mix. They pretend they mix, but they don't. Today, we're gonna do the signature sort of smoky eye of the 60s that, I mean, Charlotte Tilbury coined the word properly, the kitten flick. So I hope you like my hair, and unfortunately I can't do a tutorial on hair. It's more 80s hair than 60s. You just put rollers, try and give volume. I know, right? Don't worry, the makeup tutorial will be way better. So how did I discover lovely Miss Monica Vitti? And I really want to say it like that because it sounds better. I discovered her, I was studying photography in my 20s. Shocking, I know. The teachers had this library of must-see movies, sort of visual delights to inspire us beginners. I remember seeing The Red Desert by Antonioni, and you really have to say it like that. Antonioni. Or else what's the point, you know? Antonioni. No. The 60s are kind of this new beginning. Filmmakers want to get away from Hollywood as much as they might want to try. Get away from Hollywood? No. How dare you? But there are some who do it. And one of these is in France. His name is Jean-Luc Godard. Maybe I'm going to say it in French. Jean-Luc Godard. He has this absolutely amazing movie called À bout de souffle. And it's basically a French gangster and his English girlfriend in Paris. And it's lovely. It's here on YouTube. If you want to see it, I'll put a link down below. There's also another director. Her name is Agnès Varda. She's also French. And she does more relationship-based movies, like it's two guys and a girl. That's not the name of the movie. That's just a joke. I'll put it down below the title if you're curious. Finally, in Italy, there's Antonioni, who tries to make movies about more mundane things. And he discovers Monica Vitti, and he falls in love with her, and they make I think it's 4, maybe 5 movies together where she's the main focus or the main female character. Really, she just is amazing. She has this sort of moodiness about her that she's not always like happy, and more the reality of life. So she has this wonderful Kate Moss thing going for her where she looks like the girl next door, but she's really a goddess. And she's got that blonde hair from the 60s that has that wonderful texture, beachiness to it, and there's always wind sweeping it in her face. She's got that raspy Italian kind of succinct and kind of heartfelt voice. So she's really someone that you would immensely be inspired by if you saw her. And, you know, she's just one of those mythical biondas, la bionda italiana. And I'm just kidding. There's other ones. Fiona Loren blonde? No, she's not. I'm just kidding. I knew Sophia Loren was not blonde, okay? I'm not really blonde, but I'll keep that for another story. So these are the colors I will be using today. I know, not very exciting, but that's okay. Sometimes you don't want everything to be exciting. Maybe just you want to be exciting. Up here we have a pure white by Devinah called Blow. I know, it's awkward, B-L-O-W. Here we have one called Chamois by Coastal Scents. This one here is called Cold Shoulder. It is a pastel tone blue by Shroud Cosmetics. This one here is by Natasha Denona from the Biba palette. It's called Sculpture. And this here is the MAC palette collab with Daphne Guiness. What you really need from this palette is this gray here, which is a cool tone gray, and you also need a more warm tone gray. Both of these are pastel shades, so there is white or something like a pastel effect in them. I'll be also using 2 eyeshadow pencils. I hope they're still in circulation. I think they are. And let's get on with the look. We are going to start by lining the eye with, this is Urban Decay 24/7. It's called Crave. I love the color. It's just such a beautiful neutral gray that isn't too, there's not white in this. That's why I really, really like it. I'm gonna start by tracing the inside here. Because my eyes are round, I want to thicken it here. And by making it thicker than what you would do maybe on an almond eye, this is really going to help to make my eyes look more feline and elongated rather than wide on the horizontal. I don't know if that makes sense. Here, instead of following down the line, I'm going to lift the line by placing that feline flick effect higher. You want to almost make a triangle here. Not the shape of a triangle, sorry. A more triangular shape. And help to pull it out. It's already making a lot of difference. Has that round shape, and this one's going more and up. It's really important to massage it into the lashes. I'm going to do the other side. So I'm really rounding the shape here. I'm going to trace that to the halfway point. And here again, I'm just going to create a triangular shape. Doesn't look perfectly even. Just take a small blending, very tiny blending brush. This one is been discontinued. Just go in and feather it into place. Here, the height. This line is now a little bit thicker, so I'm gonna thicken it up. I think it's nicer, just a little bit thicker in the center. Like that. Yeah, just gonna add some here. Like that. I know I'm obsessing because I'm an obsessive compulsive person. If you ever make a little mistake, I'm just going to go in with this concealer brush by Bejalium. It's not a concealer brush, it's a liner brush. I'm just going to even that out for now, because we're going to go with shadow over it. It doesn't have to be too precise because you want that imprecise sexiness, if that makes any sense. For the next step, I'm going to take this number 2 Refer brush. It's a nice flat goat hair brush. I'm going into my warm pastel gray. I'm just going to go over the line with this. And feel free to stop at any moment. Like, you don't have to do the full tutorial. I'm going over the other side with this. I'm just going to go back in. I'm going to go back into the tiny brush. I'm just going to go over this. I'm going to dip back into the number 2 refer brush. I'm just going to tap it over lightly. There you go, we're getting smoky. For the next step, I'm going to use my small brush. I'm going to go into the dark gray eyeshadow from the quad. I'm just going to tap it over that liner just to make it a little bit more precise. And on the other side, and maybe just here, I'm going to round it out. And with a very small, precise liner brush, I took some of the dark gray. I'm just going to flick some of that out. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Very lightly. Again, you could stop here, but I won't. I'm going to use this Wayne Goss number 4 brush. It's made out of squirrel hair and it makes the deposit of the colors much lighter. I'm going to dip it between the white shade and the chamois shade. I'm taking some off. So I'm just going to create some contrast here on my lid. Like that. I'm going to do the same on this side. Just deposit some of that on the lid and also blend into that little gray that we put before. And now we're going to use the same brush and we're going to dip into the blue, the baby blue, pastel blue shade called Cold Shoulder. Now you don't have to use that same exact shade. Again, you can stop here or put some pale gray over this. I'm going to make it very classical, Monica Vitti. So I'm just going to start here in the crease. I'm going to blend downward. Again, a touch of that pastel blue and blending it down. I'm going to do it on the other side. Start at the crease and then you just blend it down. Just going to add some here. I'm going to add some here as well. Keep blending. Continue the blend. I'm going to dip between the chamois and the white color. I'm just going to put some on here and blend. Same thing on the other side. Just a bit of that white and the chamois. Just want it to blend here. I find that it has grabbed just a little bit here on the inner portion of the lid. So I'm just going to remove some with a cotton bud. Same here. And you can always use it just like to blend everything into everything. Like that. Just remove some more. For the lower lash line, I'm going to use this pale pastel-y gray color instead of the darker one. And I'm just going to line very gently along my lash line. Like that. And I'm going to stop there. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Just line it very gently. Now, if you want, you can also line this inner part here. Oh, I'm going to do it. And now you can put on the mascara, and I'll be right back. I've had a look at the footage, and there's just a little thing that I wanted to correct. So on this eye here, the smokiness is just a bit thinner. So I'm going to use this Hakuhodo pencil brush. I'll put the number here on the screen because it's rubbed off. And I'm going to dip it into the dark color, the dark gray. And I'm going to dip it into the pale gray, the warm pale gray. And I'm just going to very delicately massage. Like that. I'm dipping back into the pale warm gray from the Natasha Denona palette, some of it on top. And then I'm going to go back into the gray color. I'm just going to very gently, again, over and maybe just hit some here on the bottom, just to reinforce that, like that. I'm going to take just a little bit on the edge, and I'm just going to close the lid and very gently feline flick it. Like that. I'm going to do the same here. I'm just going to very gently, I'm going to stretch this one because this one's a little bit more saggy. I'm just going to extend with this mini pencil brush. Yeah, I think now just a bit here. Just a bit there. I'm just going to go back into the Crave eyeshadow pencil because it's still looking a little bit thin on camera. So I think there was just more on the other side. Thicken it out. At least it's blended underneath. I'm going to go into the tiny brush, pencil brush. Just going to blend that edge. You know, there's a wonderful word that I learned by listening to an Italian interview of her. It's a good way of learning languages when you listen to people talking their native tongue. And the word is abbastanza, which means enough. At some point, you're going to have to say abbastanza, enough. I think this is where I'm going to say abbastanza. I think you need to know when to stop, or else you're going to go crazy and you're just going to thicken up the line, and you're just going to curl once and then curl right at the end. Curl here. It's not like you're going to see my lashes. They're like invisible. And I'm going to curl at the end. I'm going to use the MAC Giga Lash. I know it's not called Giga Lash, it's Extended Play Giga Black. But on this channel, it has a new name. It's called Giga Lash. I know I should have put the primer. And it gets clumpy. Like to, but maybe not. I kind of sometimes just like a little bit, not too heavy, like a fine lash. And what I like about this one is that it's really, really black. And when you have pale lashes, it kind of saves them on camera, especially when you're putting a lot of light. I know, right? At the end of the lashes. And because I have, really straight lashes, I'm just going to go and recurl the end. Like that. Monica Vitti, see, I've zoomed you out and you can appreciate these sort of very 1960s colors and wait, it's like beachy hair, like basta, abbastanza, no, l'amore è troppo per me. There you go. I don't know what to do with this hair anymore. So I hope you enjoyed the colors, the idea. I hope you discovered someone interesting that you want to find out more about. This top, I got it from a local thrift shop where they hire people who are not able to find more regular jobs. I'm going to donate it back so someone can actually have it who wants to have it. That's it. So if you enjoyed this video, I invite you to hit the thumbs up. And if you want to see more vintage content, I'm inviting you to subscribe because I'm planning at least 2 more. So cross your fingers. Sì, ancora 2 per il mio canale. Sì. Ti non credi? Ma perché? Arrivederci. Ciao belli. Ciao. Arrivederci.